Welcome, everybody, back to another Remy Family Adventures podcast. Here on this Sunday morning, you might be kicking your feet up, drinking a cup of coffee, having some breakfast. Maybe you're after church. Wherever you're sitting today, we're going to be talking some topics today. That's why it's called a podcast. Am I right? All right, that joke fell a little bit flat, but that's okay. Today, we're going to be talking about social media and the effects it has on the mind. Just kidding, it's not that deep, but we're going to explain our opinions and thoughts as I am joined with Michael, and my name is Jacob.
Hello.
All right, so we'll go ahead and start with that, as hello is very, very, very small there. But social media, what is the positive of it, Michael?
Well, I mean, hey man, there's a lot of good stuff that has come out of social media. I actually found my wife through social media, so it can be used as a tool to get married. Yep, that's true.
Okay.
And we did it the right way, the Christian way, Didn't live with each other, no sex before marriage, none of that stuff. We didn't even hold pinkies. I'm just kidding about the pinkies holding, but yeah, I mean, you can find your significant other on there. You could become a millionaire from using social media if you create your own brand and market it right. But those are some good stuff. You could keep in touch with maybe some old friends when you get older, 30, 40 years in the future here. But yeah, there's a lot of positives. You can get your news, none of that fake news crap that's on Fox News and CNN and all that garbage.
Okay.
You can get the real stuff right off of your Twitter feed. Donald
News,
Trump, he posts all the time the insides and outs of what's happening in our country.
Okay, so you're saying that fake news would be CNN, Fox News,
Everything.
and then real news would be Trump's Twitter feed.
Exactly. Yep, you got it right.
Well, this isn't opposite Tuesday, that's for sure. But this is Michael's perspective of the positive of social media. I would say for me, the positives of social media is, like Michael said, it does definitely keep you connected. It keeps you connected with your family members. I mean, I remember one time we all decided to get in this messenger group. Somebody decided this cousins messenger group, and everybody left within 10 minutes of it being created because
Don't
everybody
you hate
posted
that? Don't
things.
you hate group chats? Because
See, that's a negative, but
when
let's
you're
get back to
okay,
social media
go
here,
ahead.
buddy, because we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here.
Keep going.
The positives of social media, definitely connection. At the end of the day, it does get you connected, but at the same time, the other side of the coin, I don't know why I can't seem to get too many positives from social media. I just feel like there's so much negative.
Apparently, you're just jumping the bit over there.
Like, I'm just saying, the only thing that is good from social media is it gets you connected. I mean, I can understand, yeah, you can make a living off of social media. You can definitely do certain things that are really cool and everything like that. But at the same time, I think there is a lot of negatives that has come from social media. And we'll get into that in a second here. But I would say one other positive from social media is, like Michael said, you met his wife. So that's really cool. But there is a negative to that as well, because social media has this thing called Tinder, and it's definitely not the looking for a significant other. I mean, some people have found their significant others
Maybe
on
like
Tinder, and
1%.
that's huh?
Maybe like 1%.
Well, 1% is better than no percent, right? So if a statistic is a statistic, that's good if it's positive, I guess.
All right, well
Jacob
said.
Remy, quote of 2019. But let's get into it. Negatives. What do you think of the negatives?
Well, you kind of already touched on one. I think we live in a culture where we can easily unfriend or block someone because we difference opinions. And so we are taking dialogue out of conversation and rather stating just our opinions. And if you don't agree with me, then I don't want to hear from you again. I mean, you see it all the time on Facebook. I mean, I don't use social media all that much, but whenever I do go on there, there's those posts you'll see, oh, if you don't like this post, then remove these people or whatever, it's just like, come on, man. Like, we're all grown adults. There's no reason for that. And then, there's that topic there, picking and choosing who you want to, basically creating your own friend group to agree with your opinion. Negative. I don't know. You what else do you got?
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely some considerable options of why it's negative. I think the biggest thing why social media is so negative is that people are keyboard warriors. and they have this notion that I can say anything that I want on the internet and they're not held accountable to it in any grand scheme of things. For example, you could see a comment feed where people make jokes about a person that's paralyzed or make jokes about somebody. I'll just speak of an example. So recently there is a fight between Mason Rudolph and Myles Garrett in the NFL. Myles Garrett took off his helmet,
Oh,
slammed
I
it
heard about that.
in Mason Rudolph's head, and I don't know the truth of the story or the truth of the matter. I don't really
You
know
know, he
the
called them a
extent of it.
racist, right?
Yes, what?
So do they say.
So yeah, so the basically there is that a week later after it happened, Myles Garrett spoke up and said that there is a racist comment used towards him from Mason Rudolph. Now, the comments in this section, one person said, "Oh, that's ridiculous. If he would have really been called a racial slur, he would have been saying that from the beginning." Da 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 da. And then I think to myself, no wonder why he didn't say at the beginning, because if he did say at the beginning, this would be the same person that would say, "Oh, you're throwing out the race card." So, as much as there can be a positive side of social media, there is a negative that nobody is ever held accountable to what they say. There are some fine, minute moments where people have actually been fired from social media for things that they have said, but that doesn't happen very often. And not only that, you definitely hit the point where you are ultimately finding a social group that you want to stay in and you keep that. You cannot have anybody that disagrees with you because, oh, the Lord must forbid that, because you can't have anyone that disagrees with what Sally says about abortion, or this guy says about that topic, or this guy doesn't like Trump or he likes Trump. And it's like this whole entire like, let me pick and choose who I want to friend rather than being open to differences of beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, another negative is we get, you know, if you don't have a high self-confidence, or you don't know how to view yourself correctly yet, you can get in this comparison mode where you're seeing all these people travel all over the world on Facebook, and they're your same age, and they're going to Guam, and they're going to Japan and Netherlands and Switzerland, but like you don't know how much debt they're in. They may have no money in their bank account. So like you get in this comparison mode where you're like, oh wow, my life like sucks. Like I'm doing nothing with my life. I'm just working this crappy job, making like $14 an hour, and these people are having kids and families and traveling and so on and so forth. And I've gotten in the comparison game. Not so much now because I'm married and we're living a kick butt life right now. But as far as like, when you can get in down to dump situations, you start to look to other people's lives and try to find, you compare yourself, and it's a natural thing because you're like, well, I hope I'm doing better than other people. And then you find the very few people that maybe appear to do better than you, but you don't actually know if they're doing better than you. You don't know the fights they might be having. Nobody posts the negative of their life on Facebook. I mean, when's the last time you've seen a post of someone having a kid and being like, oh, well, I forgot to buy diapers, and my kid crapped all over the house, and now I got to rub it out of the car. Nobody talks about that, right? So when you get in this comparison mode, it can really be toxic to your mindset, and then how you view yourself and how you view the world, and then you start to become depressed, and it's just this spiral. So I think that's one negative of another negative of using social media as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think also another thing that's so important too is or to recognize about the comparison is that you become this self-centered lump of human. You're no longer a form. You're no longer formable for the Lord to move you and mold you as clay. Instead, you're this guy that's like, oh man, look at that guy. He has that girl. He has a really nice house. He has the vacations, the kids, and instead of being like, man, that's awesome for that person, it's I envy and desire the very thing he has because I don't have it. And I think that we have to, as people, recognize a heart of gratitude. That if we are satisfied in what we have, that as much as the hunger and thirst for wanting to do better and wanting to do more is definitely still there, but it needs to be done in a way that isn't so thirsty that if you don't do the very thing that that person's doing, that you become negatively influenced in your life. I mean, I know for myself, I have battled with numerous times, whether it's image or whether it's a job or whether it's this or that. I mean, one thing that I somewhat envy and compare in my current life is that it's hard working the shift that I work, but I have recognized to love the shift that I work. So I work a shift 2:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. I've recognized to enjoy the shift I work because it is some place I'm going to spend a good amount of time per week where I need to enjoy what I'm doing. And it may not be necessarily what it is that I'm doing that I enjoy, but it is I enjoy who I am as a person. So I kind of take the reflection off of the things that I'm doing, rather that I have to live in this flesh until the day I die. And if I cannot enjoy living in this flesh, then this life is going to be very boring, very pointless, very unexpressive, exciting. And so I think social media really gives that me mentality where it's, hey, look at me. I mean, we literally have a page devoted to ourselves. And as much as that can be good, it can also be somewhat self conceited, it can be somewhat selfish and self centered. I mean, it's really great that people go out and give things. And, I personally have had hungers to go out and give, but a lot of people do it in a way where they're not giving in secret or in private, but they're giving because public social media will see it. And some people will say that their heart is they want people to see this. And I totally recognize that. But sometimes it comes almost like, hey, look at me. Look at the good that I'm doing. Look at this camera watching me give this homeless guy this. When it's like, yeah, it's cool and all, but what is your heart really behind it? Is your true motive to do it because you want to help this person? Or is your true motive to, man, I want people to like me more because I'm doing good things?
Yep. I agree. All right. Let's talk about improving yourself 1% every day and whatever that may be. Do you know what that means?
I know what that means.
Explain it to the viewers.
So let's say you are person that's lifting, or okay, let's say this. Let's say you're a person that can do 10 push-ups today. So you want to increase your capacity to 50 push-ups. So what you would then have to do, okay, that's a bad analogy. I just realized that 1% of 10 is definitely not 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back here a little bit. Man, so math was a subject I took in high school.
Oh my, come on, dude, that was like 3 years ago.
Dude, it was actually like 4 or 5. Like,
no, it wasn't,
I'm
bro.
older.
You're 21.
Life's not young as I used to be. Anyways, shoot. Okay, better analogy to use is if you want to increase your overall strength. Okay, so let's say you can do.
You want me to explain it for you?
I'm trying to use a muscular side because it's so simplified, but I can't.
What about the women viewers out there?
What, women can't do push-ups?
Well, okay, I didn't say that,
bro.
All right,
you have to cut this part out.
Let me explain it to the viewers, because yeah, okay. Basically, what I'm saying is, you need to do some type of reading per day, whether that's 15 to 20 minutes on whatever subject that is improving your relational skills. If you're married, your marriage. If you're spiritual, your spiritual walk. Your career, whatever it is, to improve a significant part of your life so you can constantly grow every day. And the second part is getting some type of positive input in as well, whether that's a healthy podcast, some holistic music, a sermon, a YouTuber that maybe is like just got it going on with positive, whatever it is. You need those two things in your life to really propel yourself forward. I mean, I'm making pretty good money right now, and I don't even have a college degree. I have no college really except 1.25, and I'm probably making more money than most people getting out of college with a 4-year degree. And that's not me to put anybody down or anything. It's just saying that I've been accountable to myself to try and improve every day by 1%. So that way, if you think about it, if you go through a whole year and you've improved yourself every day, you've done 365% growth than you would have done if you didn't do anything. So pretty big, significant increase.
What about a leap year?
What?
What about a leap year?
That doesn't matter, dude. Anyways, what I'm saying is, make sure you improve yourself, get better, Become the best you that you possibly can. Be better than your yesterday, because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. Always make action that day. Don't say, oh, I'm going to, do it 10 days from now, or I'm going to do it next week or whatever. Just do it now. I mean, all you got is today. You don't know what tomorrow's like.
How do you measure your improvement?
I mean, that's the thing. You want to read or listen to what you're listening to and reading, and then you want to apply. If you don't apply, then it's just useless knowledge. John Maxwell talks about failing forward, and you need to apply what you learn. And if you fail, that's okay. Get back up, look at your mistakes, and just keep going forward. Are you going to? All right. So, thank you so much for watching number 2 podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining the Remy Family Adventures in our podcast. Every Sunday, we're going to just talk about random stuff that may be relevant or may not be relevant to the political side of things, random topics. We're just going to have fun with this podcast. Just get out of our comfort zone and just, enjoy ourselves and express ourselves. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next Sunday. Peace.